Hello, Shoyan here. We're getting close to the end of this project. Today, I'm finishing the joinery, adding some storage and installing an exposed bathroom counter. First up is the floating closet in the tatami room. It's not exactly a traditional Japanese style room. All the finishes throughout the house, including this room, will be wallpaper. The only traditional element here is the tatami mat flooring. The closet is up high, floating in the corner of the room. Back in the day, you'd sometimes see closets like this with a small window underneath, and recently, this floating style has become more common. The floor stays open underneath, and the closet looks like it's suspended. Sometimes, the vertical panels run down to the floor and the tatami gets cut around them, but not this time. They're laid out to cover the entire room without any trimming. Only the closet is suspended. The room is already framed out, so I start by framing the side wall of the closet using 45 by 60 mm lumber. Because 40 mm square wood tends to warp and isn't sturdy enough, I usually use this size of joist lumber when building a frame that's secured to the walls. It provides a solid surface even if I attach drywall directly to it. Now, I install the frame I assembled. Once it's put together, installation goes quickly. I still add glue for extra security, then drive in some long screws. I already have blocking in the ceiling to match the closet's dimensions, so I screw into that too. That gives me a solid frame with everything lined up. Since a small hanger rod will go on the outside, I make sure to install backing for that while I'm at it. With the side frame done, I move on to building the front of the closet. I'm using a pre-finished vinyl wrapped board. Since it's a closet and has to hold some weight, I reinforce the bottom like a toe kick to make it sturdier. Boards like this have a vinyl surface, so glue doesn't stick well. To fix that, I peel off the top layer with a hand plane. One quick pass takes off the vinyl and then the glue holds just fine. Now I install the front of the closet frame. Pre-finished materials like this don't hold screws very well, and I can't really screw them in from the front when attaching them to the wall. So most of the strength comes from glue. Once the front frame is in place, I brace it with a compression rod, vertically at the bottom and horizontally across the middle. The horizontal rods press the frame tightly against the wall and hold it in place. I also add a few pin nails to hold it in place. Once the glue sets, it's plenty strong. Next, I make the closet floor. I'm using 30 mm laminated cedar panels and topping it with another layer for the finished surface. First, I build the base frame using pieces cut to the right size. I also need to install a board underneath it. I run the frame all the way around, then lay the laminated cedar panel on top. Next is the top shelf. I install cleats all the way around and drop the shelf in place, and that finishes the closet. Now, I'm doing a similar job to the floating closet I just did, but this time it's the pantry behind the kitchen. We used to call it shokuhinko, a food storage space in Japanese. I had no idea what pantry meant the first time I heard it. Still not totally sure, to be honest. Anyway, I'm building the pantry the same way. There will be 5 or 6 adjustable shelves on the inside. Next up is the counter for the bathroom sink. The bathroom's right across from the front door. Since space is tight there, I built the wall at an angle. I installed the sink counter on that angled section. I'm using 30mm laminated ash for the counter. This little triangular space is pretty cramped, so getting accurate measurements is tricky. In a case like this, using a template is the best way to build it right. Ash looks great when it's finished, but it's not easy to work with. It's heavy because it's hard, or maybe it's hard because it's heavy. The blade doesn't go in straight. It also has a really strong smell. People say it smells like goat droppings or herbivore manure in general, and that's a fair comparison. Not that I've actually smelled goat droppings myself. Some wood definitely has strong odors. In my experience, broadleaf species tend to have more distinctive smells. The worst one for me is Japanese cherry. It makes me sneeze and my eyes start to burn. Among imported woods, Moabi and Apitong are especially stinky. I wonder why dense wood has such strong smells. I round over the top edge of the counter just slightly. Since the sink is going into this triangular space, I do a dry fit first to figure out the exact position, then I drill the hole. The plumbing is about 35mm thick, but they specified a 100mm hole. Honestly, with a 100mm hole, you've got 30 or 40mm of wiggle room in any direction. But if the hole's even a little off, it might hit the plumbing during installation, and that's not a problem you want. When I'm working on a dense wood counter like ash, I secure it more thoroughly with both glue and screws than I do with other materials. Otherwise, it's more likely to shift over time. Since it's a bathroom and all kinds of fixtures will be attached to the wall, I use M-cloth panels so that screws will hold anywhere. It's tough to work in such a tight space. Now the remaining work, the storage and the bathroom counter are complete. This site is almost done. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.